Well, I'm going to say this based on what you just said about both of them matching their career high, or their season highs in rebounding. If McKenzie Adams give me this at ECU this coming weekend, I'm going to be happy, Coach, because that means she's applying something. But what got my attention, I said I would tell you, we have 16 assists. We have been struggling with assists because we've been not playing team basketball. So 16 assists to 16 turnovers, that means we even. I would like that ratio to be on the positive on the assist side, but I'm going to take that. That's why we've been struggling.
You mentioned the 16 assists. That's within one of the team's season high this year. You had 17 twice.
Exactly.
Was it making better passes, or was it just making some passes and then now more of the shots after those passes are being converted tonight?
Well, when you get assists, that's mainly because you're throwing the ball and executing a game plan. The receiver of the pass know exactly who it's coming from, and they know it's their time to score, so they have a different mentality. That's when you're executing your offense, and we have struggled with that down the stretch, and the way we executed tonight is what allowed us to get the victory.
You fell short by 3 points up in Philadelphia a few weeks ago. Tonight you pull out a 4-point win. What was different in terms of down the stretch and finishing it out?
I think like Coach said, we executed. We weren't taking as quick of shots, and if we were, it was within the offense. But Coach talked about in the locker room too, it was a team game. Like, it made it so much easier, so much more fun. We were moving the ball, and it was just like we were getting whatever we wanted. So I think that was the difference.
You had the close game in Philly that went the other way. You had a close game at Houston the other day that went the other way. Do you all talk about those previous games when you're in the timeouts, in the huddles in the last couple minutes, what you didn't do to finish out those others and what you need to do to tighten the screws?
Actually, we talk about it prior to the game. When we get in the game, we don't talk about any previous games. Once we get in the game, it's totally 40 minutes focused on the game plan for that particular game.
8 points, 10 rebounds for you. Were you doing anything differently in terms of the way you crashed the boards or your aggressiveness that led to these numbers for you tonight?
I don't think I was doing anything different else other than getting in position and being stronger like I'm supposed to be. Before I would just lay down and stay straight up, and they would hit me first, and they would get to the rebound before me, and I would just try to jump them. But now I went out there, aged up, box out, get the rebounds, and just look for the open person, try to get some assists on the board.
Temple started out with a 10-2 lead tonight. Was that them just being really hot, or was there something that you guys were doing that sort of stumbled out of the gate a little bit, and how do you recover from that?
I'm going to let them answer the first part of that question, and I'll take the second part.
Well, like we've done a couple times, it's our game plan to take away threes, and we gave them multiple threes again. And I think it was just about locking down on that. And in the fourth quarter, I think, they only had like 3 threes. So I think that second half, 3 threes. And I definitely think that was the difference in the game. We locked in on taking away the threes.
I would say that we trusted. We started to trust what the coaches were saying. At the beginning, we were like playing loose and like, you know, giving it up like, oh, we'll come back, just get our shots up, and we really weren't executing on offense. So that's how they got the lead. But I feel like in the second half, we came out, we're like, we're not losing this game. We weren't meant to lose the game in Philadelphia. So let's bring it and let's go. Like, we want to win. So
I would agree with that. I'm going to say they did come out and they treated it as it was going to be a sprint. It looked like they wanted to outscore Temple. They started taking quick shots, taking shots outside of the offense, and Temple was running their offense. And we were giving up what our #1 game plan was, which was to stop their transition. And we was giving up shots in transition and early baskets. When we settled down and started executing, our defense got better because our defense was set. Even if we missed offensive opportunities, we still was able to sprint back and get our defense set, as opposed to shooting a quick shot, somebody's cutting, not knowing the ball has been shot, and they have the advantage on the other end. So that's how we were able to climb back into it. There was no quit. I was completely sweating after the first 3 minutes. I'm wiping my face after the first 3 minutes, but got a little bit calmer as we started to execute.
About 5 minutes left in the first half, Michaela Reese goes down.
Yeah.
And didn't return. What were the biggest adjustments that forced you to make? I mean, she was in the starting lineup tonight, and
Well, we already was low on numbers. Number one, Morgan's just coming back from the flu. We knew she wasn't going to be 100%. I knew in order for us to execute, the rotation had to be exactly what we wanted. So I was begging our team not to foul. You know, don't foul. I don't want to bring anybody to the bench. And yes, of course, Ariana Whitfield, that freshman, she went right out there and fouled. I had to immediately bring her to the bench and play mouse a little quicker and a little bit longer than I wanted to. But they battled. I joke about that, but they battled. And then all of a sudden, when we get Michaela to go down, she doesn't return. What I had to do at that point was extend the minutes for McKenzie. I didn't give her a rest tonight. I think she played 40. And I did not want to do that at all. So I had to yell at her, and then I had to turn around and ask her, was she okay, then yell at her again. But at the same time, I could not pull her because I lost Ariana. And we had already witnessed the team not guarding our post players in the high post. And then if we take McKenzie out, which was another threat, now all of a sudden our spacing is bad and they can strategize defensively against us, so she had to suck it up. So I'm going to give her a couple quarters tonight to go on ice her feet.
Temple came in having lost several games in a row since you last saw them. When you came back from the 8, 10 points, whatever it was, deficit, and then took the lead, did you all talk about that at all, about getting in their heads and maybe getting them to think, here it goes again?
Kind of, sort of. We talked about we were the team that was under pressure for the first 30 minutes. We didn't take the lead until 30 minutes into the game. I told them I wanted to know if Temple could play with some pressure. That means, could they play from being down? How would they play from being down? We was wasting opportunities out there, and once we finally took that 2-point lead, we were able to extend it or make them play with a little different mindset. And I think we realized that we had been struggling the entire game, and then we were still able to get the lead. And after we got the lead, I think we got a little bit of confidence, and we started. It looked like we came together as a team, and they started trusting the offensive execution a lot better.
I know our huddles were really intense too. Like once we got the lead, it was like,
yeah, I
listen.
started saying a few choice words.
We're not losing this game.
Including the huddles, that's on the court as well.
Yeah, you wasn't just the only one.
Just bumping and let's go, all that.
You played 40 minutes, now you got to turn around in 3 days and go again. Do you do anything different as far as recovery and getting your legs back under you?
We're so in shape. We are so in shape.
Right.
I'm going to be okay, I promise.
We'll get an ice bath and y'all gonna be good.
I like it.
What did you think of Clara's play down the stretch? She had a couple rebounds.
I thought her play was huge. We had to depend on her to do exactly what she did tonight. She executed, she demanded the ball. When she got the ball, she tried to do at the end of the game what we was asking her to do. And I said earlier, I think our post players sometimes think when we throw them the ball that they have to score, they have to do something. They're not always going to be the one that gets the basket, because every team that has played against us, they know that we're going to run a high-low or a post game as part of the strength of our team, so they double our post. I need them to catch it, and even if they're going to pretend to score, let the defensive team do what they're going to do so we can make an adjustment. And Clara did that exactly to what we needed tonight in order to continue to execute down the stretch.